Everybody needs good neighbours with a little understanding. You can find the perfect blend. Neighbours should be there for one another. That's when good neighbours become good friends.
Yes, reservations for 2 for 1 night. And the name is Ramsay. Shane Ramsay.
What the hell's going on?
I should have thought that was obvious. I'm making a phone call.
Not on my phone, you don't.
I'll be with you in just a moment.
Dad, she's my boss.
Oh, yeah? You don't go to hotels with your boss.
It's a business trip, Dad. Mrs. Fielding, this is my dad. Dad, this is Mrs. Fielding. My new boss.
Oh, yeah.
How do you do? And if it's all right with you, Mr. Ramsay, I'd like to finish my phone call.
Oh, yeah, well, I suppose so.
Thank you.
I want a word with you.
Not here.
Hey?
Jeez, Dad, what the hell are you doing? Trying to make me lose my job?
Look, that's what you have to do to keep it. It's not worth having,
Oh,
son.
you cut it out and listen. I'm Mrs. Fielding's chauffeur. She's going to Canberra on a business trip and she wants me to drive her around. So just call it, will you?
Just drive around.
Yeah.
I suppose that's all right.
Good, because I got to finish my packing. I won't be a sec.
Okay.
I'm real sorry about that mix-up. I should have known better.
Don't worry about it.
You know, I reckon anyone ought to be proud to have him working for them. He's a hard worker and he's completely honest.
I'm sure he is.
Oh, yeah. And he's talented, too. I mean, he wasn't always a chauffeur, you know. He could have been an Olympic diving champ. That's how good he was.
Really?
Yep. He won every cup and trophy there was to be won.
I'm sorry to keep you so long.
That's all right. Goodbye, Mr. Ramsay.
Oh, goodbye, Mrs. Fielding. Just telling Mrs. Fielding here what a great diver he was.
We're late, Dad. I'll see you.
Well, have a good time.
Goodbye, Dad.
Is your father always like that?
Like what?
Does he always jump to outrageous conclusions?
Mostly, but he doesn't mean anything. His bark is far worse than his bite.
There are a lot of people like that. Was he telling the truth when he said you could have been an Olympic diving champion?
No, he was boasting a bit. I won a few trophies, that's all.
How many's a few?
Well, I was training for the Olympics, but there was no guarantee that I was going to make it.
Still, you must have shown some promise.
Well, a bit, I suppose.
Why did you give it up?
Well, I had no choice, really. I had an accident and injured my back. It's okay now, but it's no good for diving.
It's a shame. What happened?
I had a car accident. It wasn't my fault. This guy ran into me and my brother. We were lucky that we both weren't killed. They caught the guy that did it. Well, that's not much good to me, though. I still couldn't dive.
All right, that's enough.
I thought you were interested.
Not in your life story.
Oh, yeah. Give me a hand.
Oh, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm phoning around trying to get an assistant. It's hopeless trying to do it in my place.
I bet you're sorry that you fired Terry.
Oh, look, you're not going to go on about that again, are you?
Well, have you found someone?
No, not yet. I will. Seeing someone this morning.
Can he drive?
Yeah. Well, listen, I met Shane's new boss today. She's a woman.
A woman? How awful. What's she like?
Hard as nails. Don't she let you know it, Mrs. Linda Fielding.
Hang on, I remember reading something about her husband. Or whatever. I'm glad Shane's working.
Rather, he's working for a man.
Oh, Max.
Well, it's true. I mean, they're all the same. Always trouble once they start trying to wear the pants. They should stay at home where they belong.
Don't you mean the cave? Look, I meant what I said about getting a job.
You've got a job looking after the boys.
Oh, come on. At their age, it's hardly full-time. We can't go forever like this. We have to sort something out eventually.
Well, look, I don't mind supporting you.
Well, you will, if it goes forever. Especially if you remarry.
What, me remarry? Yeah, you got to be joking. I'm the last person in the world who'd ever remarry. Bet you would, but... Here, call up your mate Nick Berman.
Shut up, Max. You're behaving like a spoiled child. So what if I get remarried? You walked out on me, remember?
Well, I didn't have much choice, did I?
You took the obvious one.
Now, look, any man who found out what I did, that you were promiscuous, a liar, would have done the same thing. Yeah, well, I better go. Come in.
I hope I'm not interrupting, but these are the figures that you asked for.
Oh, well, thank you. I wasn't expecting those till after lunch.
Oh, well, I know what it's like when you're new. If you don't get all the information you need right away, it can be really awkward.
Yes, it certainly can. I'm in enough of a muddle as it is.
Oh. Well, for what it's worth, everyone thinks you're doing really well.
Really? Mm. Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
You've been here for quite a while, haven't you?
Ages, since I left school.
Have you got a boyfriend?
No, no one special.
Oh, haven't the blokes out there got eyes?
Not for me.
Oh, find that hard to believe.
Have you found a place to stay yet?
No, not yet, unfortunately. I haven't really had time.
Yes, it must be very difficult for you with your family so far away.
Yes, it can be, but that's part and parcel of the job.
Must miss them.
Yes.
Well, I better get back before I get into trouble with the new bank manager.
Yes, I have heard he's a bit of a monster. How's your car?
Oh, good. It's still being serviced, I'm afraid. Yes, I keep finding things wrong with it. I suppose they'll give it back to me eventually.
Well, in that case, I wonder if I could offer you a lift home tonight.
Thank you. As long as I'm not putting you out.
No, not in the slightest.
Oh, well, if you insist.
I do. Now, you get back to work before I give you the sack.
Yes.
G'day, mate. Okay. I thought you'd be at work by now.
No, I've got a late start. What about you?
I asked the boss if I could have the day off.
But you are the boss.
Exactly, that's where he said I could have it. Paul, I don't want to pry or anything, but are you still going out with Gloria?
No, unfortunately. She and her mum moved to Adelaide to get away from Charlie.
Can't say I blame him. Bit drastic, though.
Yeah. I miss her, Dad. Still, I think she thought her mum might just cave in and go back to Charlie if they stayed around here.
Think they'll be all right?
Oh, Gloria's got a good job. She's talking about getting her mum working too. I think she thinks if her mum's got complete independence, Charlie won't have so much of a hold on her.
Sensible girl, that, Gloria. And I was proud of the way you coped with that situation, mate.
You? You were proud of me?
I don't believe it. Just a little bit. Huh? Don't let it go to your head.
Teddy. Well, I'm glad you came around. I wanted to apologize for Max's behavior.
It's not your fault.
Have you got another job? Oh, boy. You want a cup of coffee?
I'd love one.
I'm afraid Max is not here. I can imagine you want to give him peace of your mind.
I don't think it'll do much good.
Well, I think it was quite small-minded to sack you just because you couldn't do an out-of-town job. It's ridiculous.
Yes, well, anyway, I didn't come to see him. Is Shane around?
I'm afraid not. Something's the matter?
It's just that I think I upset him last night. We didn't exactly part on the best of terms.
I'm sure you'll be able to put it right. He'll be back tomorrow. Why don't you try him then?
Has he gone away?
Yeah, to Canberra with Linda Fielding.
Who?
Oh, it's his new boss. He told you about getting a job as a chauffeur, didn't he?
Yes, but he didn't tell me it was with another woman.
Oh, I don't think he knew himself, but I wouldn't worry. As far as I know, it's strictly business relationship. She just needed someone to drive her around Canberra, that's all.
So you don't think I'm wasting my time?
Not for a moment. What do you call it? Mother's intuition? It's usually pretty accurate.
What does your mother's intuition think of my leaving Shane a note?
It thinks it's an excellent idea.
Well, what do you think?
It has a certain je ne sais quoi about it.
What's that?
How you say, a certain indefinable something? Well, that's a rough translation anyway.
Well, you still haven't told me what you think.
Well, that's because you haven't told me what you want me to think. What's it dressing out of?
It's one of Grandma's.
That much I gathered. What's it doing on you?
She said I could borrow it. We've got a dress-up day at school tomorrow. I need a long dress.
Oh, well, in that case, in answer to your original question, I think it looks wonderful.
You're just saying that because you think that's what I want you to say.
Isn't it?
Not if it isn't true. If you ask my opinion, I think I look horrible.
And why is that?
Well, don't tell Grandma, but it's so old-fashioned. I want something more modern.
What about asking Julie if you could borrow one of hers?
She won't let me.
She might.
I know her better than you do, Dad. She won't.
You look stupid.
Yeah, I know. Scott, will you do me a favour?
Depends.
It's no big deal. Will you ask Julie if she'll lend me one of her dresses?
Why don't you ask her?
'Cause she'll say no. Go on, Scott. Please.
There's no point in me asking her. She'll still say no, Lucy.
When I give up, she won't listen to me. It's not fair.
That's life.
Well, here you are. Delivered in one piece.
Thank you, I really appreciate it. I can't tell you what a difference it makes not to have to catch public transport.
It does tend to make you a bit frazzled sometimes, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Well, I suppose you'll be getting your car back soon.
Yes, yep. Are you doing anything now?
How do you mean?
Oh, I just wondered if maybe you'd like to come in for a drink.
Oh, well, I'd like to, Julie, but I'm afraid I've got a lot of work to do. Head office tends to keep us old buzzards rather busy.
You're not going to let me forget that, are you?
No, I'm not.
No. All right, well, thank you for the lift.
Oh, that's all right.
Yes, goodbye.
OK, see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
He's kissing her, now she's kissing him back.
Oh, bull.
It's true. They're still kissing. You should see what they're doing now. Ooh.
I knew you were making it all up.
I didn't. Well, not all of it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. Julie really was in the car with a man.
Hello.
Julie's got a boyfriend.
Oh,
Julie's
don't be
got
childish,
a boyfriend.
please, Lucy.
I saw you.
Who is he, Julie?
Oh, for heaven's sake. I simply got a lift home with the bank manager. It's not very exciting, Scott.
Well, that depends on the bank manager.
Oh, look. Happens to be a very pleasant man who gave me a lift home, all right? If you want to be stupid enough to suggest something else, go ahead.
Is he good looking?
Look, Lucy, this is where you lose out because I can't be bothered talking to you when you carry on like this.
All I did was ask you whether he looked good or
No,
not.
I can't bother with your drivel.
She's never going to lend you that dress now.
Hello.
Hello, beautiful girl. Have a nice day.
Yes, it was all right until now. Lucy's being very childish.
Children often are.
Yes, that's true. So where's Grandma?
She's at the meeting of the Community Justice Committee.
Oh. Would you like a hand?
Oh, thanks.
Right. You go and pop your feet up and I'll get dinner ready.
Oh, that's very kind. You did have a nice day, didn't you?
Yes, it was quite good. Had to do a lot of extra work, though, for this new bank manager.
What's he like?
Nice enough, yeah. Haven't had much to do with him on a personal level.
You went out for a drink with him the other night.
Yes, that was just a friendly gesture.
Hi, Mum.
Shane. How was Canberra? Enjoyed yourself?
No, you're kidding. That Mrs. Fielding's a real slave driver.
Too much for you, is she?
All she ever thinks about is work, 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 and money, money, money. Wouldn't surprise me if she had a dollar sign for her heart.
She sounds delightful. How about her husband? Is he the same?
Don't know, I've never met him. And she never talks about him. Whatever he's like, I feel sorry for the poor guy. Could you imagine being married to someone like that?
So, you're not falling for your new boss?
No way.
I know someone who'll be delighted to know that. Terry?
Oh, I don't think so, Mum. I was pretty rude to her the other night.
Oh, well, she didn't seem to be holding a grudge.
How would you know?
Do you believe mother's intuition?
Come on, Mum. What do you know that I don't?
Just that she came around yesterday to see you.
Really?
And she was very disappointed you weren't home. And she left this for you.
Well, what's it say?
How would I know? Open it and find out.
I'm equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides.
Righto. Any more toast for anyone?
No, thanks. I've had enough.
Me too.
Dad?
Oh, look, if it's not too much trouble, darling, I'd love
Not
some.
at all.
Thank you.
Brought all this on.
I don't know, mate. Whatever you do, try not to spoil it.
I mean, she's never ever taken breakfast at Gran in bed before.
What are you two whispering about?
Nothing, mate.
Yes, you are.
Lucy, why don't you go and get ready for school?
I am ready.
Oh, get yourself.
That there.
Julie, listen, you wouldn't be able to sew a button on a shirt for me, would you?
I don't see why not. No, meet me in the lounge room and I'll just get my sewing kit.
You don't think Julie's caught some terrible disease, do you, Dad?
I wouldn't be too sure, mate, but if she has, I hope there's no cure for it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I bet you won't load that dress to me still.
I'll tell you what, why don't you go and ask her again if you've got a good chance now? Go on, go on.
I'll bet you $2 you won't.
You're on.
Right.
Julie, we've got a dress-up day at school today.
Yes.
And I need a long dress. And all of Grandma's are too old-fashioned. So if I looked after it really well, do you think I could borrow one of yours?
Oh, well. Do you promise to look after it for me?
Promise.
All right, then. You go up and have a look in my wardrobe and see which one you want.
You mean it?
Yes, I do. Well, go on before I change my mind.
I'll deduct it from your pocket money.
Thank you for lunch.
Thank you for the note. I didn't think I'd hear from you again.
Well, I was just feeling so rotten about what happened the other night that I took a chance you'd feel the same.
I do. I thought about you all the time in Canberra.
Really? What did you think about me, though?
Now, that'd be telling.
I still think you should know the full story about my husband.
It's not really any of my business, Terry.
That's just it. It might be.
You're not still involved with him, are you?
No. But I think he might still be involved with me. When I left him, he went crazy. He threatened to kill me. Had to leave the city because I was so scared of what he'd do. Then when he was put in prison after the robbery, I thought it'd be safe to come back.
What's the problem?
I've been getting some threatening phone calls.
Well, you'll have to leave that flat of yours then.
If we do see more of each other, then I think you should know what you're getting into.
Do you know Des Clarke?
No, but I've heard of him. You said he lived in your street.
Yeah, that's right. He's got a spare room. It's worth a try. I'll ask him if you like.
That'd be great.
If he says yes, which he will, you could move in tomorrow.
A good friend, you know that?
I'm a good friend of myself. I like the idea of you almost living next door. Well, come on, Terry, let's go. I've got the limo. I'll drive you home. What do you think?
It's great.
It's not bad, is it?
Here's an important message just to hand. Convicted bank robber Gordon Miller has just escaped from a police van taking him from the remand cells to Weldon Prison, where he was due to spend 10 years for armed robbery.
Your husband?